Guys, if you want to know how you can make a radio on Roblox Studio like this, that you put the sound ID and it plays a song, then watch till the end to find out how to. Yo guys, today I'm gonna be showing you how you can make your own radio on Roblox Studio. First of all, I'm going to get a radio model, or you can use a part. For example, I will make this the handle. You can get a mesh for the handle if you want, but I'm gonna use the default part for the tutorial. So radio, make sure to name the part you want the character to handle. Make sure to name it handle. I recommend putting can collide off, so there aren't any collisions with the handle. So yeah, I'm just gonna edit the tool grip, for example, like this. I will link in the description this plugin if you want. Okay, so okay, this is like a radio. Okay, so this is our radio. Okay, so let's start scripting basically. So get a local script, radio local, and do script, do local activated equals false. Script.parent.activated connect function. If activated equals false, then activated equals true. Else if activated equals true, then activated equals false. It's not equals, it's just equals. Okay, I forgot to say, but you need to make a GUI. I'm gonna make a quick GUI. So radio GUI frame, okay, 300 per 200. Okay, perfect. UI corner, for example. Okay, this is our GUI basically. Then add a text button here and call it, this is gonna be play, text scaled through, play button, so play song button, name this play song, play button, for example. You don't need to name the text buttons and the text labels the same as I name, so yeah. Then add a text box right there, song ID here, sound ID here. So yeah, okay. ID box, let's name this sounds ID box. Okay, put inside the radio tool. Okay, so now let's go back to the local script, the radio local, and then if activated equals false, then activated equals true. Local clone GUI equals to script.parent.radio GUI clone. Clone GUI dot parent equals to player equals to game dot players dot local player dot player GUI. Okay, now do here if game dot players game.players.localplayer.playergy find first child radio GY, then do game.players.localplayer.playergy wait for child radio GY, and then destroy. Okay, print destroyed GY, or you can do visible dot enabled equals false. Copy this line over here and do enabled equals true. Else if not game.players.localplayer.playergy find first child radio GY, then it clones. Okay, print cloned GY, print GY enabled, and then here do GY disabled. Okay, let's test it out. So if we test, it works as normal. Do enter. Okay, so play for example. So when we disable the GY, it prints GY disabled, and when we click again, GY enabled. Okay, it's working. And now let's do on unequipped. Let's do script.parent.unequipped connect function, connect function. Okay, if let's do exactly like this. If game.players.localplayer.playergy find first child radio GY, then game.players.localplayer.playergy wait for child radio GY.enabled equals false. Basically, what it does is it disables the GY when the player unequips the tool. So let's test to see if it works. It works. If you spam click, it works as normal. It disables basically. Okay, so now do a script. It's gonna be called radio server, and do a remote event called radio event. Okay, so now do on the radio local do let me see. Okay, if let's do on activated. No, let's just do yes here. Okay, let's do okay, so player, let's do game.players.localplayer dot radio GY dot frame dot play button dot mouse button one click connect function. Okay, so let's do if game.players. Okay, if game.players.playergy again, if game.players.localplayer.playergy dot radio GY dot frame dot sound ID box dot text equals but what this does, but basically this checks if the box has any text. If it doesn't has any text, then it will not fire the server. So basically this means this symbol right here means if not game.players.localplayer.player.gui.radio.gui.frame.sound id box.text equals this, then it will fire the server. So script.parent.radio event fire server script now do game.players.localplayer.player.gui.radio.gui.frame.sound id box.text. Okay, print fired. Copy these lines over here and put it over here. Yes, okay. Okay, let's go back to the server here. So do script.parent.radio event dot on server event connect function player comma sounds id. So do if player and sounds id, then if the player and the sound id exists, then what are we gonna do? Local sounds equals to instance.new sounds comma workspace. This is the parent of the sounds. Sounds dot sound id equals to rbx assets id slash slash then do dot sound id, then do sound play print sound id. Okay, so let's test it out. I'm gonna put a little bit of sounds on my game. Okay, and let me get a sound, an audio that is not copyrighted. So for example, okay, this for example, I think the Roblox musics aren't copyrighted, so we can play. Okay, so play. Okay, basically that's it. And do and not game.workspace. No, let's do if game.workspace. Now do if not game.workspace dot game.workspace find first child. Let's name the sounds dot name equals to game equals to player dot name dot sounds. Find first child player dot name dot sounds. Then if the sound is not in the workspace, then it will create a new sound. Okay, so let's try. Let's do. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's get the sounds. Enter, play. Okay, players. Okay, we got an error, basically. Oh, LOL. Okay, that was the error. Okay, enter, play. Okay, it worked. Now let's do when the player unequips the tool, the sound destroys from the workspace, basically. And let's do one more thing. When the remote event is fired, it disables the GUI for the player. Okay, so where is it? Okay, there it is. Okay, so now it disables the GUI. Let me get the sound ID. Okay, enter, play. Okay, so now, okay, so when the player unequips it, and let's reset the text box when the player fires the remote event, when the player tries to play a song, basically. Okay, so dot frame dot sound ID box dot text equals to let's see the text that is currently on the sound ID box. Okay, sound ID here. Okay, and the text resets to sound ID here when the player plays a song. Okay, there it is. Let's put it here for organization, to organize the script. Okay, and let's do script.parent.radio event fire server disabled. Let's do now else if player and sound ID equals to disabled. Okay, so let's do if player and sound ID equals not to disabled, the sound ID equals not to disabled, then it will create a sound. If it is disabled, the sound ID, then let's do game.workspace. Let's do if game.workspace find first child player dot name dot sounds, then game.workspace find first child player dot name dot sounds, destroy, print sounds was destroyed because the player unequipped the tool. Okay, and here let's do else if game.workspace find first child player dot name dot sound. If there is a sound of oh no, we don't need this because it destroys when it unequips, basically. No, we actually need it. We'll do that later. Okay, so let's get the sound ID. For example, these sounds. Enter, play. It's not playing. I don't know why, but oh, I know why. Because when we click in the play, it resets the text to sound ID here. We need to reset the text after it fires the server, so it will work. Let's try again. Let's get the sounds. destroys the sound basically. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now let's do else if game.workspace find first child player dot name dot sounds dot sound, yes. Then let's do game.workspace find first child player dot name dot sounds id equals to rbx asset id, okay, rbx asset id slash sound id. Okay, I think that's it. Let's test. Oh, we need a sound again, unfortunately. Okay, so it's not playing, I don't know why, but yes. Why is it not playing? Sound ID here, radio local. Let me see. Okay, so now, okay, it works. Equip it. It works. And if we play again, and if we get another song, it works basically. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. It was a little bit hard for me to do, but no problem guys. I hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.